Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. CFL content for the fans, by the fans. And it has been a while since a video has been uploaded. Whose fault is it? Of course, it's always mine. That's kind of how it goes. You know, when you're the only one here, there's only one person to point the finger at. However, today I brought a friend so that way I can share some of the blame on him as well. Rick, how are you today?
Not too bad yourself.
I'm doing okay. So he is if it's not already obvious by all of the Boy Scout wear that he's wearing, he lives out in Hamilton and he's a Ticats fan, also known as, I brought him on this podcast at gunpoint. I'm kidding. But yeah, so we got a bit of an interesting video here today as we're talking about something kind of groundbreaking in the CFL with CFL Plus. So, Rick, how are we feeling about this? Because this could be really this looks like it'll be very big for the CFL.
So the way that I viewed it last night is like if you were to compare the footage from them and TSN, I will honestly say CFL Plus has better footage than and more angles than TSN does.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I know, but I think like because obviously this will be a big improvement in that aspect. But just I think the accessibility to watching these games now will be huge, especially since the fact that with the CFL, because you're just promoting to Canadian audiences for the most part, you're pretty limited in terms of like there's a ceiling. You know what I mean? Where you can only get so
Yeah.
much being in a country that has less people than the state of California. So it's kind of important that we at least attract some American viewers. As I mean, I remember I was talking to I saw in the news about at least a while ago about a family that was fans of the Oakland Raiders, and then when they left, they didn't want to support them in Vegas, and they didn't want to pick another team, so they're like, "Fuck it, we're gonna watch CFL." And so they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna be Bomber fans." I'm like, "Hell yes!" So,
I'm just gonna say I don't want to throw any Saskatchewan fans under the bus,
oh,
but
I
if
do.
it's any way to not listen to if it stops me from having to listen to Glenn Suter, I'm all for it.
No, that's fair. No, but this will be big, especially for the international viewers, whether international like abroad or in the United States, just because it's CFL Plus is slightly different there. But the main issue that they've had is not being able to watch these games. You know what I mean? Because they're able to buy
Mhm.
merchandise, they're able to do all these sorts of things. There's Amazon, there's ways around that. But watching the games has been a big issue. So, and it's very smart that the CFL is not making this a paid service. They know that if they make it paid, no one's going to buy it. They know this. So it's smart that they're making this an unpaid service in the sense of that they will make they would make more money from drawing people in for free to then buy merchandise and to go games or whatever it is than they would for actually charging for this service.
Just a few things. Preseason is free. I don't know if it's going to be paid after that, but it's going to be
Yeah, I
free for
guess that's a good
preseason.
point because we're kind of in the infancy of this. This is brand new, you know.
And also, if you miss a game, that's it. There's no video on demand or anything.
Yeah, well, and that is a little bit of a bummer. However, again, because this is in its infancy, I wouldn't be surprised if that's something that eventually kind of comes back in. It would be nice even if CFL Plus would have it where even if the game is not going to be there forever, where it's like, okay, you got a few days, you know what I mean? Like you got the weekend,
Mm.
like if there's a Friday game, you got till like next Wednesday or something like that, or if there's a games that you could choose to record or whatever, and you could say have a maximum of 5 recorded at a time or something like that, it'd be a nice feature. But I think just the whole concept of this is great, and they can kind of expand on this in the future.
Or you could just be like me and have three screens like for Saturday and just have like one game
Yeah.
on each screen.
Oh my goodness, you're. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to get a few monitors in my room here. I'll be set up. I'll be like the it'd be great though if I was watching like the playoffs, and of course right now I'm at the point in the NHL playoffs anyone but Vegas. I can just have a few screens up. The Bombers will get a touchdown, and Vegas will be scoring at the same time, and I'll be like so confused. I'll be on stream, and I'll have to be like, no, but then like, yes, Bombers at like the same time, you know.
It, it's funny because a friend of mine asked me to go to a Jays game. I'm like, nope. As soon as CFL training camp started, my Jays, like, I don't affiliate myself with the Jays anymore. It's like, as soon as training camp begins, I'm like CFL mode.
That's fair. But yeah, no. So I'm really excited for what this will mean. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of opportunities for the CFL for CFL to expand with CFL Plus and incorporate more features. But as a general baseline, the CFL's number one issue I've had with the CFL in terms of where I've said like the CFL isn't growing is because they've done nothing to promote it. It's like I remember last year I saw my first ever CFL advertisement on TV and I was like, whoa, advertising? What is that, CFL?
But let me ask you a question: was that on something else other than CTV or TSN?
Nope, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
That
But it's a step in the right direction. It's a step in the right
um,
direction. They went from useless to slightly less useless.
one thing that I will say is I don't know if you're going to put the link in the description below. For those people who haven't used it yet, once you go on to the preseason live, there will be the way that it works is there will be a schedule. Go below the schedule on whichever game you want to watch. You just click on that screen. You're going to put in your first name, your last name, and your email, and the footage will start 5 minutes before kickoff. For any of those that have
For
known
those who
about
actually
it.
want to use this service, especially our
Yes.
international viewers down in the US and
And
abroad.
for those people who haven't used it yet, the footage is by the home team, and it's basically you get to listen to the home radio
Yeah.
broadcast.
Also known
Which,
as keep Jack Edwards away from this at all costs.
um,
Don't let
so
him cross the border.
I'll have to send you the video later, Carter. But last night's preseason game, there was an hour rain delay,
Oh my
so they
god.
had. So you could just imagine what they're trying to do to keep each other entertained
Good
during a
god.
rain delay. And then
They would
you
have done it
have,
so much worse than WrestleMania whenever WrestleMania has to do it.
oh, but it gets better though because when they're doing like radio commercials,
Yes.
you can still hear them talk in the background, and then
Oh.
they're talking, and it's like, what? You can still hear me? What? I'm not muted?
This is how you know that CFL's got a few things to learn. We're just setting this up. It's a brand new thing. Bit of problems with it, but you know, like generally, like so it's good that you mentioned actually how to use the service, just because I mean I was bloody clueless until you told me. But I guess one thing I do want to ask you is how do you think like what do you think the service will actually do and the problems that it will solve? I guess for fans in Canada,
So the way that I will, okay, so there's multiple different ways of how I see it. Depending on if you're Canadian, US, or international. Canadian wise, those people who don't want to pay for cable, you can watch it online.
yep.
The people in US that don't want to watch XFL or USFL and want to see something different, because if you look at the US has four downs
Yep.
in the NFL. Same with all the other leagues, but all the other leagues have different rules.
And another good thing to mention is if they're trying to follow a specific player from college that they've been following and they want to see how he is when he comes up to play in Canada, it'll be an interesting thing in that regard. And then also for I think people that are fans of the NFL that maybe have guys in the CFL that teams are kind of eyeing up. You know what I mean?
That, or there's people that get drafted in the global draft
For sure.
that will, parents that are out in Germany that want to watch their kids play,
There you go.
that have to watch it at different time slots because,
They'll have to
different
listen
time
to
zones.
people ramble during commercials during their
No,
son's football game.
nothing like watching, a game in England in Great Britain and being at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's like, yeah, I gotta stay up all night to watch my son play football in Canada.
There you go. Exactly. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think that this is kind of a really exciting thing to come to the CFL. And I think that, like I said, there's a lot of opportunity for them to expand upon this, put some new features in. Let us know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. And also, just kind of any recommendations you guys have for the channel, maybe some certain types of content you want to see moving forward. Hoping to kind of get this back up and going and being a little bit more consistent. I've been kind of bad at that whole consistency thing for the past few months when it comes to CFL Central, but we're trying to work on that self improvement, ladies and gentlemen. So you guys make sure you yourselves have a wonderful rest of your day. Rick, is there something you want to say? It looks like there's something you want
No,
to say.
no, I was just trying to see when, because if you think about it, I was just looking at the calendar. The league starts in 2 weeks, so I'm sure there will be more
Carter,
content
get
that
your
comes
shit
out.
together. Okay, there we go. So you guys have yourselves a wonderful day. Remember, like I said, comment down below, and we will see you guys next time.
Touchdown!